judge threw out the rape charge that had sent him to prison for more than 5 years. A classmate accused Banks of raping the stairwell of their Long Beach high school.
My only dream in the world was to just be free.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Red Femme Diaries. I'm so glad and excited to have you all here. I'm going to just put out a quick warning here. The truths that will be spoken on this channel are hard, heavy, and going to be very difficult for many of you, if not most of you, to swallow. I cannot promise that I can make it comfortable for you to ingest. I would suggest that if you enjoy having your ears tickled and you enjoy the lies of this life, that I would probably exit now, because this channel is definitely not for you. Through great torment and self-evaluation, I have discovered that the old scripture found in the book of John 8:32 is indeed true. And it says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." So essentially, I'm kind of doing this right along with you guys. I'm discovering some things about myself that are quite painful, but I have to face them. So I guess I'll just take you on this journey with me. I just ask that you please show me some grace and patience and a bit of mercy. I am figuring all this out as I go. But if I do not get out this truth, it seems like I'm not going to be able to have a good night's sleep. One of the things I've seen in the comment section of some of the videos I've spoken on before, it says she's capping with the little blue caps. Well, I'll just say this. I do not personally know a woman more wicked than myself. So I'm not pointing the fingers at other. Well, I am pointing one finger, but as the old adage goes, there's three pointing right back at me. So I have to listen to this too, and it's difficult for me to swallow too. But I just have to, face the truth. So let's get started. I have about 4 videos I would like to show you all. This very first one, I want us to really focus on this Latina. I want you to notice how much time and effort she takes into preparing this little joke that she has for her, I don't know if it's her husband or her boyfriend, fiance, I don't know, but her significant other. She takes a lot of time and preparation to make sure she pulls this prank off just right. The next thing I want you to notice is I want you to notice a man's reaction. This isn't one of those skits where it looks like they both planned it, because in there you will see a tear fall from his eyes. And I want you to really look at his face. He's trying to go along with it and laugh, but you can really see pain. And the next thing, the third thing I want you to really pay attention to, and because we are talking about, I didn't mention that, but we were talking about the wickedness of woman. It's in the title. But what I want you to notice is how much joy and glee and laughter she is filled with when she realizes how much she's hurt her man by making him think she was with another man. She takes such joy and glee. Just listen to her giggles and laughter. Okay, so let's get a little look at that here.
Ya también. ¿Listo? Ahora toca esperar a que llegue. ¡Ay, no! Amor, 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 venga, no sé qué. Venga, no sé qué decir, mi amor. Ay, era una broma.
What I found interesting the most about that particular clip was just how much joy that woman got out of knowing that she can hurt her man so. It kind of reminds me of those clips that you see on I think it's like TikTok videos, and you would have the mother ask something to the child, and the child would like say, "No, shut up," or something, and they videotape the reactions of the fathers. And the father would get mad, run after the child would get scared, and the mother would just sit back and giggle, and think that's so funny. And that kind of really goes into the vanity of a woman. You know, we really love to have our ego stroked, and we just want to feel like we are just the most wanted, most desired, and we like the idea of our man even going up against our child for our protection, or making your boyfriend or husband jealous, you know, that you could possibly get another man. It's very vain. But you know, the righteous woman is supposed to be selfless, and so we don't play little games like that to cause pain and agony in our spouses and our men. Excuse me. This life is hard enough without having to play silly games like this. I want to say now, please excuse me. I actually was in surgery yesterday. I had a surgery, and so my voice is a little bit dry because they had to put the intubation tube in there. So please forgive me if I'm kind of choking a little bit, but I really wanted to get this video out for you. So we're going to look at our next video. In this video, you will see a mother that made a choice to kill her child. So I'm going to talk to you after this video plays.
Oh, and Snoopy.
You gotta take her, Snoopy. 30-year-old Ming Ming Chen is brought into a police interrogation room after investigators discovered the body of her 5-year-old daughter hidden in a Jackson Township restaurant owned by Chen and her husband. The couple had reported their daughter, Ashley Zhao, missing a day earlier, prompting a frantic search by Stark County authorities. Early on in the interrogation, Ming Ming Chen claims she had no idea how her daughter died. The lead detective takes note of the fact that Chen showed no emotion upon learning the devastating news that her daughter was dead.
I know that you're not crying. You said I don't have nothing left. Isn't that what you told me? You don't have no tears left. You don't have nothing left. Ming Ming, your daughter's dead.
After repeated denials, Ming Ming Chen eventually admits that she beat her daughter to death in a fit of rage in the kitchen of their home in North Canton.
What happened? How did she die?
Just kill her, and then she died.
Did you hit her?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you hit her?
How?
Yeah. What
Use
happened?
hand to do that?
Okay.
State of Ohio versus Ming Ming.
Chen then reveals that she told her husband, Liang Zhao, that she killed their daughter and asked him to get rid of the body, which he then hid inside their restaurant.
I told my husband to take care of it.
Okay. So you're telling me that you told your husband?
I told my husband to take care of it.
When pressed by detectives why she beat her daughter to death, Ming Ming Chen told them that she was overwhelmed by work, and claims after her daughter spent an extended period of time in China with her paternal grandparents, she had become disobedient.
I need to take care of everything from the restaurant. I only have 2 hands. I'm not 4 hands girl. I'm 2 hands. I don't want to do that to Ashley, but you can control yourself sometimes.
Jack Shea, Fox 8 News in Stark County.
Wow, chilling, wasn't it? I know. That was a very difficult video to watch. And I know the vast majority of us would look at that story and say, oh my goodness, how could that woman kill her own child? What an evil, wicked woman that is, right? Now here's the point where you decide to take the red pill or the blue pill. Because the blue pill will tell you that that woman and that woman alone is terrible and horrible. And how could a woman do that to her child? Yes, she needs to be in jail. They need to put her under the jail, right? Lock her up and throw away the key. Because she's an evil woman, right? Now here's where you decide if you want to take the red pill or not. And here's what I'm going to tell you what the red pill is. Got my timer out here. this little timer counts how many abortions there are worldwide this year. And right now, as of this very second, this year, 19,455,049, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55 babies aborted this year alone, over 19 million. That's just this year. And if you look at the United States, Black people, we always get the flu. So we're at about 38% of the abortions that are taking place in this nation. We're the highest percentage rate, but yet we're only 13% of the population. See, depending on what state you're in, that woman, because she killed her child after she was born, she's obviously going to get a prison sentence. Everyone's going to agree with that. In certain states in the United States, if a man were to kill his pregnant wife or pregnant girlfriend, whatever, then he would be charged with a double homicide, her and the unborn child. But here is the one exception. When a woman decides that her unborn child would be too much of a burden, she then is allowed to go ahead and murder her baby. But we don't call it that. For those of you that are trying to fight this, but remember, you get double homicide if you kill a pregnant woman. So this is where you need to wake up to what's really happening in this society. Let's look at those numbers again. I think we might actually be at 20 million. We're not there yet. Well, we're still at 19 million abortions worldwide. These are all women that are making a choice to kill their baby, just like this woman, but this woman is going to jail. The rest of these women are not going to jail. And the society that we're living in now, we're going to a very female mindset where this makes sense. That woman goes to jail. A man goes to jail if killing his pregnant wife. But the woman, she can kill her babies all she wants to. I know. And here we go with what they're going to say. Oh, she's capping. She's pointing fingers at other women. I'm going to put them 3 fingers right back at myself because I was a woman that indeed murdered my own children within the womb, which is supposed to be the safest place for a baby. But because of the evilness and wickedness of women, we turn the most safest place for our own babies into a horrible killing chamber. But if I say this, I'm wrong and I mean. So this is why taking that red pill is tough, because you have to go against what society says is perfectly fine for a woman to kill her baby, but not the father, and not once the child's outside the room. It's still a child. But we can debate this all day, and if this is not your belief, then by all means, I understand. Again, this isn't the channel for you, but I have to look at myself and I have to accept that what I've done. But thank God for the blood of Christ. So we're finished with that, so we're going to go to our next story. All right, so in this next video, what I really want you to focus in on 2 different things. Number 1, the forgiveness of the man. This particular story is about a woman that hired a hitman for her husband. So I really want you to focus it as it opens. He's really going to talk about how much he forgives this woman, because he's still under delusion too of what many of you are, of what these wonderful sweet flowers that women are. But so he still wants to forgive this woman, even though she plots to kill him. And what I want you to notice with her is how callous, how completely callous this woman is. She legitimately does not have a care about this man's life, completely self-centered. No, I know, here we go. But all women aren't self-centered. You're just talking about yourself, Red FM Diaries. All women are not like this. That's fine. And if we're not, then you should absolutely be in agreement with me. But we can agree that there are definitely some women out there that are quite callous and are quite self-centered. So we're just going to take a look at this story, and I'll be back afterwards.
I wholeheartedly forgive my wife for all she has done in this act of hatred.
The act of hatred, plotting his murder. 21-year-old Julia Murfeld was caught on camera twice in April trying to hire a hitman to kill her husband, 27-year-old Jacob Murfeld.
Let's just make it painless. I don't
okay, I'm just gonna take him head on there and I'm gonna shoot him right in the face.
Okay.
Why did she want him shot in the face? She told an undercover Michigan State Police detective she'd rather kill her husband than break his heart by leaving him.
As terrible as it sounds, it was easier than divorcing him. You know, I didn't have to worry about the judgment of my family. I didn't have to worry about breaking his heart.
But authorities say she was actually motivated by money, planning to cash in on her husband's $400,000 insurance policy, $50,000 of which would go to the hitman. Now she's traded her superhero sweatshirt for jailhouse blues, pleading guilty to solicitation of murder. Just before her sentencing Tuesday, Murfeld begged the judge for leniency, saying she's already been punished.
Honestly, it could have been worse. The crime that I attempted could have been carried out. And that alone, honestly, is the worst punishment anyone should ever have to endure, and I will endure it for the rest of my life every single day.
A far cry from the same woman who was seen laughing as she told an undercover cop she wanted her husband killed in the front yard.
So you don't want it done in the house then?
Because it would be messy in the house.
And her husband, not only does Jacob Murfield forgive his wife, he told the court he didn't want her to serve any prison time.
Before this, she's been a wonderful person, a wonderful wife. I'm sure, as you know, we have 2 young children. I would just ask for a lighter sentence, if you could, please, sir.
Okay. Now, did you guys notice that? Did you notice when that wife was in the car with a supposed hitman, she had that same little joyful glee as the Latina in the first video that we saw? It's kind of like this glee that they know that they're going to potentially cause some pain, hurt, whether physical, as in killing your husband, or emotional, as that first Latina clip. That little joyful glee that they get from causing pain to their man. Oh, that's the nature of a woman. I know, and I know you guys want to say those were just 2, separate clips. A woman doesn't really get pain out of hurting her man. Does she not? Let's go back to the garden a little bit. I just could only imagine what joyful glee Eve got out of being able to convince Adam, the very first man, to take this fruit that was forbidden, but she, in her power and feminine glory, was able to break that man down and got him to eat that fruit. I wonder, did she have that same joyful glee that we women sometimes get when we can make you men fall to your knees? Well, that's actually a very good intro into our next video that we're going to see, and this will be our last one. If you remember, this was part of the video from the intro here, and this is a story of a young man. Oh boy, he had a wonderful future ahead of him. Scholarship to college, a great football player, had a great future until he encountered one of these wicked women that I have been speaking of. So we're going to watch that clip, and I will talk to you after it's over.
The end of Brian Banks' ordeal was marked by tears after a judge threw out the rape charge that had sent him to prison for more than 5 years.
My only dream in the world was to just be free and to have the same opportunity as everybody here.
He was a 16-year-old star linebacker with a full-ride scholarship to USC and had dreamed to play in the NFL when in 2002, a classmate accused Banks of raping her in the stairwell of their Long Beach high school. Although Banks insisted it was consensual and there was no sex, he told KCBS-TV that his defense attorney at the time gave him a choice: plead no contest to rape or risk a trial that could send him to prison for life.
When you go into that courtroom, the jury is going to see a big black teenager and you're automatically going to be assumed guilty. Those are her exact words.
He took the deal, went to prison, and had to register as a sex offender. He thought that was the end of it. But after he was released, came a surprise: a friend request on Facebook from his accuser, Juanetta Gibson.
I remember closing the laptop just real quick and just thinking what did I just see?
So Banks arranged a meeting with a private investigator who videotaped the whole thing.
No, he did not.
Gibson later explained she hadn't wanted to say that publicly for fear of losing a $1.5 million settlement that her family had gotten after suing the school district.
I may not ever get the answers as to why I was supposed to go through what I went through, but I know that I'm here today and I remain unbroken.
Unbroken and working to get his life back on track. Those dreams of playing in the NFL, he says, might be realized yet.
I want all wisdom to go out to all men so that you guys can understand how to navigate the wickedness of a woman, but I would be dishonest if I didn't say that I make these videos for my sons. In a case like this, sons, and I'm talking to my sons, but I'm talking to everyone out here, I need you to look at this young man's story. We see a story like this and it kind of goes in the back of our brains, but this is a real person that had a real future ahead of him. And he spent 5 years in prison over the lies of a woman. And so sometimes what happens with men, you guys get so, I guess, enthralled with our beauty and with our mystique and everything, and you make mistakes. And in this particular instance, it caused this man 5 years, and he only got very lucky that he was able to get a confession out of her. She was more than content to take the money that the school gave her, and knowing that this man spent his time in prison, she could have cared less because of her own selfishness. And so what I want to say to you is this, my sons, and any man that can hear my voice, and I said this in my other videos, never make a woman your pursuit in life. I know in your mind it makes sense to just cater to a woman and do what she says and all these different things. I get it, but you cannot make a pursuit. Now, that man's story is not everyone's story, but what if that was your story? What if you put all your faith and hope in a woman, or was going after a woman, or those few seconds of pleasure, and for 5 years of incarceration, was it worth it to him? I guarantee you he would say no. Never make a woman your pursuit. I showed you all these videos because I really want people to understand the nature of a woman. Now, here's where we go here. Well, what about men? We're not talking about men right now. I'm talking about women. Is there evilness in men? Of course, the Bible tells you that. But I'm a woman, and I'm referring to women only. So again, if you cannot handle it, this is not the channel for you. We are talking about women and the impact that a woman has on the male psyche, and how you men need to gain control of yourselves to be able to essentially fight, the very seductive nature of a woman. Again, thank you for being very patient with me as they say, I'm building it as I fly. So this is all very new to me. My next video that I'm going to be speaking on, I'm going to talk about reparations. It seemed like that got a lot of that struck a nerve there. I'm still developing this channel, and I'm seeing exactly what I'm going to do with it. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, but I jumped on the Poor Man's Podcast, and it seems like a lot of you people really want to hear this. This all seems like common sense to me, but I guess we are in the end times, and so in these times, truth is very hard to find. So if I could provide it to you all, I absolutely will. Just remember, the woman that I'm talking about, that is me, and she is me. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Red Femme Diaries, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.